Hey everyone, you're watching The Esperanza 243. You are watching, you are not only watching The Esperanza 243, you are watching Long Live Menavia Part 8. Hello, pretty lady. I'm a beautiful puppy. No, you are not getting that food. You are not. Look at those beautiful brown eyes. Yeah, you're my steed. You're my noble steed. Yes, you are. My dog is so beautiful. You are so beautiful to me. I would imagine that song is publicly known because there are so many artists that have used that song. By the way, if you think I took a shower, you are incorrect. I just finished doing like about an hour's worth of writing and walking from here to my old address because I thought that maybe some of my mail was sent there. But when I got back, the mail was here, and what I was expecting was in the mail. Long ride for nothing. Well, not really nothing. I got to see my old neighbor again, and her beautiful chihuahua. Such a cute little chihuahua. I'm not normally a chihuahua lover, but this one is so freaking cute. The Taco Bell chihuahua is disgusting. No offense to the person who owns that dog. Or chihuahuas that look like that dog, I should say. No offense to you guys. Sorry. I just spaced for a moment. Right, Long Live Menavia Part 8. Let's do a little recap of what happened in Part 7. So basically, Caprice was just traveling through, Meltrova. She was traveling through Meltrova and France, to get to Menavia. And just to let you guys know, Meltrova and Menavia are both non-existent. I made them up. If you didn't know that, then you probably did not pay attention to the other videos before I did this book. Book reading, I mean. Anyways, so basically what happened was that Caprice was traveling from Meltrova to Menavia. She met a brother and sister. The brother helped her learn more about defensing and offensing with a dagger. And then she came across a stranger in the night trying to get something from her stuff. Although I didn't really specifically say what it was that the stranger was getting. Did I? And then after the stranger ran away, she fainted after thinking what could have happened if she did remember what to do. And then when she woke up, she was wrapped in her traveling blanket, to cover her traveling items. And there was a woman that had her own kettle and teacups and whatnot, and made sure that, yeah, you get the drift. And now she's back up to traveling. That's where we are now. So let's continue on. let me do something real quick. My head's going to go below the can for a second. Alright, let's get to reading. She had traveled far from Meltrova to Menavia. She was on her sixth day of traveling. She had plenty of food left, and she still had her daggers. As she stopped her ride to stretch her legs, she decided to take a short walk. Caprice walked to the horse and pet him softly. "J'aimerais que tu restes," she whispered. French translation, "I'd like you to stay." He neighed softly. Not 5 minutes after she had left, someone was walking past her chaise and horse. He was very interested in what to find. He took the cover blanket off and discovered a shopping bag and a luggage bag. He skipped the luggage and searched through the other bag. He was really hungry and was excited to find bread, apples, oranges, a canteen of water she bought the other day, green beans, and plenty more. He took 2 apples, 1 orange, and 5 slices of bread. Should I eat here or just run off with it? He thought to himself. He was too hungry, so he sat down on the hard ground and started eating. Soon after he started eating, Caprice came back. She gasped as she watched someone eating her food. She pulled out her rondel dagger. "Qu'est-ce que tu fais?" she cried. Probably pronounced that wrong. Heck, I'm probably pronouncing all the French wrong. I only know how to speak Italian and Spanish. Well, sort of Italian. French translation, "What are you doing?" The man looked at her with wide eyes. He stood up and ran off, leaving the food on the ground. She threw her dagger at him. He stopped running as the dagger entered the wood of her chaise, right in front of him. He looked at her. She looked at him. His features weren't that muscular, but he did look tough. His face was kind, but he had that look, like he could harm her if he had the chance. "I'm warning you," she said in French. "Whatever you took, sir, besides the food, I want it back." She was frightened. Sounded like it too, but experience-wise, she looked calm. The man looked at her curiously. "Tu t'es trompé." Oh, sorry. Tu t'es trompé. Trompé. I don't know. Correct me if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Please, that would be very helpful. He told her in French. French translation, "You are mistaken." "What do you mean?" She stopped speaking French. He sighed. "I was really hungry. I only took some food." He had dropped the language as well and spoke English very well. "I noticed how much food you had." She gave him an odd look. "You cannot be far from your destination, yes?" She sighed, a bit troubled. "Where are you heading?" "In Menavia, though I shall not tell you why I'm traveling there." He nodded. "It is personal." It was quiet. Caprice bit her lower lip nervously. "Inra is not that far. It is almost a full day's worth of riding, in that direction," he said. He pointed south. "I suggest sleeping not that much tonight if you're in a hurry." He paused. I already saw how much food you have. You got plenty to last. She hesitated. Merci, monsieur. She paused. I apologize for the way I acted. She wasn't sure how to explain why she acted that way. He chuckled. You gave yourself away, miss. You're new at this, aren't you? She gasped. I'm in a hurry myself, but would you like a few tips? She thought for a minute and sighed. I guess I should. You did well with positioning yourself, but the best time to warn someone is when they are facing you, and you are close to them. Seeing the expressions on your face is important. Another is to surprise them when you are ahead of them. Being ahead prevents the person from moving forward. Your throwing is good, but it's best to aim. Should you need to stop them, it's best to wound the person. The man paused. You know how to aim at someone, yes? Oh, sorry. You know how to aim at someone, correct? She hesitated. Well, I know how to aim, but I'm kind of nervous to harm someone. To hurt someone, sorry. He pulled hard with the rondel dagger to get it out of the wedge it made. Why would I want to hurt the person anyway? He handed her the dagger. She placed it back in her boot and thanked him. To warn them, to let the stranger know that you're serious. You must be brave in the attempt to warn them. Like you were with me earlier. You sounded like you were frightened, but your physical features showed that you were calm and not letting me go within reason. I happen to like that, but I happen to like women who are like that. She blushed. Then she walked over to her chaise and horse. I must be going. I'd like to get to Menavia before the week is over. He nodded as she picked up the food he dropped and gave them to him. Thank you for the tips. She pulled herself up into her seat of the chaise and picked up the reins. De rien et merci. French translation, you're welcome, and thank you. As she rode off, he remembered something. Keep to the path, he called out. It will be zigzagged. It might get cold, too. She waved to him, letting the man know she heard. He sighed. The kind man was right. The traveling path was zigzagged. There were a lot of zigs and zags. It was cold, but only at times. She kept her bed blanket out until she was farther inside the border. She arrived in Menavia on her 8th day of traveling. Being in Inra was similar to her home, except it was bigger and more populated. People were everywhere, speaking a language she didn't understand. She saw several people standing nearby. She called to them. Someone looked at her. Excuse me, she said. The person didn't hear her. Excusez-moi, she said, trying French. The person looked at her, but that was it. That was when Caprice realized the language Menavia spoke was completely different. She was right, too. It was Catalan, the country's native language. Fortunately, a small portion of Inra spoke English, even Senor Baldwin. Not too long after, someone noticed her. She observed her as Caprice looked around, sitting in her chaise. She stuck out like a sore thumb. She looked lost. The person came up to her and touched her arm lightly. She turned and saw a beautiful, elderly lady. "Que parla catalan?" the lady asked. Catalan translation. Do you speak Catalan? Catalan? I don't know how that word is pronounced. Caprice gave her a confused look. The lady sighed. Parlez-vous français? Anglais? French translation. Do you speak French? English? She nodded. Parlez français et anglais. The lady sighed in relief. Obvious French translation. I speak French and English. I prefer English, she said. Not very many speak English around here. At least not those we are surrounded by. I'm going to use an English accent for this one. What language are they speaking? I can't really tell if it's French or Spanish. Well, she thought for a moment. It's kind of like a mixture. As far as anyone can remember, it's from a particular branch of Gallo-Romance languages. The lady slowly nodded. Yeah, that's right. It was quiet for a while. Caprice decided to speak up. I'm actually lost. Do you know where I could find Monsieur Baldwin? She asked. The lady gave her an interesting look. How do you know him? Oh, sorry. How do you know him? I don't, she said. Or she replied, shaking her head. I was sent here from Meltrova in search of him. My mother wished me to come. The woman thought for a while, giving Caprice a look she didn't understand. I shall help you locate him. He's not at home, but I am certain of it. Thank you, she told the elderly woman. I am Caprice. What is your name? My name is Narcissa. She hesitated. Would you mind if I joined you in your shade? Senor Baldwin does not socialize much, but when he does, he goes to certain places. All of them are quite far from here. I suppose it wouldn't hurt. If she's right, I do not want her walking too much, she thought to herself. She moved to her right and patted the left side of her seat. The woman came to the left side of the chaise and climbed in. As Caprice rode on, the elderly lady guided her to the places she thought Senor Baldwin would be. It didn't take long. An hour later they arrived at a social gathering. It was a place to eat and drink, but it looked more like a place for people to socialize and gossip. As she looked around before entering, Caprice tied her horse to a nearby pole. The nice elderly woman guided her to a small table in the back. At the table was a man slouching over his drink, and he looked to be in his 50s or 60s. The elderly woman walked up to him and crossed her arms. Senor Baldwin, why is it so hard for you to socialize? She said teasingly. He grumbled. Aller and better. This is a complicated sentence. I might murder it this time. Aller and better. Courcouen d'autre, Narcissa, he replied in French. Translation: Go annoy someone else, Narcissa. She became shocked. What has gotten into you? She nearly cried. Life, that's what. Life, that's what, he mumbled. Caprice sighed. He could speak English too, though it was clear she could hear an Italian accent. There is someone who wishes to speak to you, the woman told him. He eyed his friend from his slouched appearance. What do they want? Narcissa sighed. From what I gathered, her mother wished her to come here, to Inra. Senor Baldwin picked up his head and looked at his friend. Why? To see, she replied. She looked at Caprice. Then Caprice came forward. He then noticed the young lady standing next to her. Pourquoi me rendre visite? He asked. I know I murdered that one. He paused. Où est votre mère? Mère. French translations, why do you visit me? Where is your mother? That was when her eyes filled with tears. His eyes widened. I will probably be uploading this, let's see, I'll probably upload this Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And then part 9, I will probably put up either Wednesday or Thursday. Not positive. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoy your day, whatever time it is. I am good. Alright. I'm heading out. You guys enjoy your day. Do whatever you want to do. Party, sing, dance, write, whatever. All kinds of stuff. This is the Esperanza 243 signing off.
I don't know the sound of each rock and stone. I embrace what others feel.